Good morning, Kenosha. How was your Easter? I know all of Kenosha and Racine Unified School Districts are in spring break this week. Do you have any spring break plans for this week? We don't really have any plans, and we're just kind of doing a staycation. My wife is actually doing a video series on what you can do for a staycation to keep the kids busy and occupied and kind of out of your hair and not constantly asking for a snack and off electronics a little bit during spring break. So what are your plans? Let me know down here in the comments. Do you have any plans for spring break? And how was your Easter? Did you enjoy your Easter? And what do you think about these market update videos? Do you enjoy them weekly? Would you prefer to do them monthly maybe? Maybe add a few charts and graphs, like pie charts, bar graphs, that kind of stuff into these market update videos. Let me know what you guys think. I've tossed around the idea of updating these a little bit and doing them a little bit differently. Kind of let me know. Do you enjoy the weekly updates, kind of the way that I'm doing them now, or do you prefer to switch them up a little bit and maybe do them monthly like that MLS sends them out? Let's go ahead and jump into them real quick into this week's market update though, and let's see what the Kenosha is doing. We want this screen. So we'll start here at the market action index number. It is at 61. It actually fell a little bit from last week. It was at 62.77. They would have rounded up to 63 last week. So it's at 61.09 this week. And I will explain why it fell as we go through the numbers here. So the reason that it fell is partly because of the prices here. So the median list price of everything that's on the market right now fell to 404,950, so basically 405, down from 450. So that's part of the reason as to why it fell, is just because the list price of everything that's currently on the market came down a little bit. So there were a bunch of price reductions, so that helped to lower the price of everything that's currently on the market. So that helped to reduce the market action index number. So we're seeing the seller's market, I wouldn't really say cool off, just kind of even out a little bit as we head into the summer market. This is probably kind of where it's going to stay. It'll probably get a little bit hotter as we go into June and July, but it'll probably stay right around this level right now that we're at. We probably won't see it get a ton hotter just because we don't have a lot of inventory right now for buyers to buy up and for it to get too much hotter right now. But you never know. Nobody's at crystal ball. We'll see what ends up happening. Let's see here. The median price of new listings here is at 384,900, so 385. It went up from 319,950. So new listings are coming on the market at a little bit higher price. This is just, in my opinion, when I'm looking at the new listings that are coming on the market, we're just seeing a lot more higher priced new listings, so that's driving up the price of new listings. We're not seeing so many of the 250, 200 priced homes. We're seeing a lot more homes priced in that 300 plus price range. So this is driving up the price of new listings. Price per square foot is at 232. That is up, actually down from 234 last week. That's also playing a part in the market action index number going down a little bit. Average days on market is at 110, down from 133. That's a big jump down. So that's actually helping the sellers out there. Sellers like to see lower days on market. That means that their houses are selling faster and typically for more money, or at least at asking price. So days on market continues to trend down. Median days on market, the number that I like to follow because this tells you more of a story here, is at 39, down from 56 last week. So that's another big jump down. Again, these two numbers here, these are from days, the day that it hits the market to the day that it sells. So if you look at the MLS days on market, the days on market that most realtors tell you, that's more like a 28, 33 days on market is the median or average days on market right now that most realtors will tell you and what the MLS tells you. So that's why this is such a big number right now compared to what most realtors will tell you. Price decreases, so price improvements is what most realtors are calling it now when they talk to their sellers. They're saying that we have to make a price improvement because we're not seeing any action on your house, we're not getting any offers, we're not having many showings. So we have to make a price improvement to entice more buyers to come through your house. Hopefully make an offer. Is up to 31%. That is up from 24% last week. I would still like to see this around that 10-15% mark. So it's just telling me that sellers are pricing their houses a little bit too high for the market for most buyers, and they're having to come back around and then make price improvements or price decreases a few weeks down the road because they're not getting any offers those first few weeks on the market. So what do you think? Let me know down here in the comments. If you're a buyer out there, what are you seeing in the market? Are sellers pricing their houses a little bit too high? Are they a little bit too greedy? If you're a seller, what are you seeing out there? Would you price your house higher than what your realtor recommends, just to try and get a little more money for that negotiating power? What I'm seeing sellers do is that they're just taking that first offer. They're not even negotiating with buyers. They're just taking that first and best, highest and best offer. They're not going back to buyers and negotiating for the most part. They're just taking that highest and best offer right away and not negotiating with buyers. So if you're thinking about pricing it high and negotiating with buyers at a lower price that come in at like a lowball offer, we're just not seeing that happen in the market anymore. Those days are kind of gone. They're past us right now. Price increases, so they were listed at a lower price initially, then had to unlist it and then relisted again at a higher price. Is that 4% up from 3% last week? So what I'm seeing on the MLS right now is that I'm seeing a lot of realtors do this, not just new home builders, but realtors list the property. They list it initially at one price, and then I see either the same day or the next day they unlist it and then relist it again. They expire the listing, or not even expire, they just withdraw the listing and then relist it again at a higher price. I don't really know why they're doing that because I'm not privy to the seller's conversation and the realtor's conversation, but my guess is that the seller either wants to list it at a higher price, try it at a higher price because the neighbor down the street just sold their house at a higher price, or the seller is just being greedy and trying to get a higher price for the house. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of my best guess. What do you guys think? Why would a seller want to list their house at a higher price? Let me know down here in the comments. I'm curious as to why you guys think a seller might want to unlist their house at a lower price and then try at a higher price. Because everybody can see that on Zillow in the MLS. They can see when you unlist your house and then relist it at a higher price. So all the buyers, all the sellers, we all know when you unlist your house and relist it at a higher price. We all know that you listed it at a higher price. We see that little red arrow pointing up, saying that you listed it at a higher price. So everybody knows that you did that. Relisted houses, so houses that expired and come back on the market, is up to 17%, up from 13% last week. They would run this up to 14% last week. So a little bit higher than I like. I like to see this around that 15% mark. So it's ticking up just a little bit, but still not, outrageous, not a number that I don't like to see, just a little bit higher than I like to see. Inventory ticked up by quite a bit, actually. 11 houses from last week. It was at 37 last week. Is up to 48 this week. So that is really good for buyers. It means that buyers have a little more choice out there. They don't have to rush to see the first house that hits the market. Of course, you usually want to because there's so many buyers out there and such limited inventory. Again, this is just the city of Kenosha. So if you have a more broad search, like you're looking in the county too, and you're looking in Racine, maybe you're looking out in Walworth County, like Geneva, maybe you're even looking up in the Milwaukee area. If you have a much broader search, you have a much more bigger inventory area. This is just the city of Kenosha, but inventory in the city of Kenosha ticked up just a little bit. So this is a good thing for buyers. Buyers have more choice. For sellers, it just tells you that there's more competition for you now. You have to price your house a little more competitively. Price it better than the house down the street. Price it better than the house a few blocks over. Price it better than the house that's on the other side of town. Entice those buyers to come see your house instead of the other house and put an offer on your house instead of the house that's across town. Median rent is at $2,000. It was at $2,000 last week, so that's staying the same. If you watch my page for rent, it has not changed week over week. Market action index number, again, at 61. The median list price chart here, I just like to leave it at this chart just because I think it's fascinating to watch this this line pretty much go up at a straight line. We can see the last couple weeks here, it's kind of evening out and staying almost flat, almost going down a little bit, just because like I said earlier in the video, we're kind of at that like plateau right now as we head into summer. We'll see what happens in the summer if the line continues to go straight up or if it kind of flattens out a little bit for the summer months. I don't know. Typically in the summer months we see the list prices go up a little bit and then flatten out around that July, August mark, and then shoot down again as we go into the fall months and winter months. So we'll see what happens. And then we go down here to the new listings here. I won't go through it. I'll just leave it here for you guys. You can see though we had a lot more new listings on what's sold over the last week. So that's good for buyers. It means that there's more choices. For sellers, it just means that there's more competition out there for you. It just means that you have to price your house better. It means that you make your house more market ready. Entice those buyers to come see your house over the next house. Just make your house shine, make it better, make it the obvious choice for buyers. I hope you guys enjoyed this market video. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me by text or call. Give me a call or shoot me a text. My number is 262-331-1621. I have buyers and sellers just like you every single week reaching out to me, and I'm happy to help you out any way that I possibly can. I hope they have a fantastic week. Enjoy your spring break, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.